From a young man's quest for vengeance through Renaissance Italy, to a cunning pirate-turned-assassin sailing the Caribbean Sea, the Assassin's Creed franchise has introduced us to some truly memorable protagonists. But if we were to take all of the main playable characters from each mainline game, which 5 would stand out above the rest, and of those 5, who would claim the top spot? Let's find out. Starting off at number 5, we have Basim from Assassin's Creed Mirage, although he made his first appearance in Valhalla, and it's for this reason he makes the list. Without going into spoilers for the end of Valhalla, the events that transpired there made me all the more curious to jump into his shoes and piece together how he evolved into the man we encounter in Valhalla. What I really enjoyed about playing as Basim was the emphasis on a more stealth-based, calculated approach to situations. It tied into the calmer, more thoughtful personality of Basim that felt more in line with traditional protagonists like Altair and less brash combat-heavy characters like Eivor. In that sense, it felt like playing as Basim was like a return to some classic Assassin's Creed gameplay. I really enjoyed navigating the rooftops of Baghdad and slipping through crowds, pickpocketing and recruiting locals to help infiltrate compounds. The only downside to the gameplay for me was the assassination chain mechanic. While it was certainly handy to execute, it felt like I was watching the action more than I was controlling it. Outside of that one downside though, playing as Basim always felt slick, and watching him progress through the ranks of the Hidden Ones, developing his skills through an awesome training montage, really helped to sell me on his character. I have a feeling we'll be seeing more of him in future installments, and I can't wait. At number 4, we have Alexios from Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Hey! Shitface! Get down here!
While Cassandra is the canonical protagonist and widely considered the stronger of the two from a voice acting standpoint, I have to say I enjoyed playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey as Alexios. Whether it's Spartan kicking enemies off cliffs, smooth talking his way into bed, or unleashing brutal combos on helpless enemies, I had a great time exploring ancient Greece as the legendary Mystios. By the end of the game, Alexios felt like an unstoppable force, and chaining attacks together helped to make each encounter feel cinematic and exhilarating. Add to that the addition of some of the best gear and weapons in the franchise, and you have a customizable character that can be built to suit any playstyle. Further adding to the customization, the many dialogue choices and the ability to save or kill certain characters throughout the story added additional depth to his character and strengthened my connection to him by allowing me to shape his personality and choices. That connection to Alexios is one of the main reasons I stuck with the game long past its initial ending. I loved hunting down every member of the Cult of Cosmos and tackling the many side quests just to see how Alexios would interact with the world around him. And if nothing else, he's responsible for one of the best catchphrases in the business.
Malaka!
At number 3, we have Bayek from Assassin's Creed Origins. What made Bayek such a compelling character to play wasn't just his skill as a warrior, it was the emotional depth of his journey. This was the first Assassin's Creed game that I played through to completion, and it would set the stage for my eventual love for the franchise. A large part of why I stuck with Origins was the story. Bayek was a compelling character and the story they told was emotionally charged. Tracking down each member of the Order of the Ancients wasn't just about taking out enemies, it was about justice and trying to heal from an unimaginable loss. This also played into his bond with Aya, his wife, which was complex, bittersweet and ever evolving as they slowly drifted apart over the course of the game. From a gameplay standpoint, Bayek felt raw and powerful from the get-go. His combat is brutal, with dynamic fast-paced attacks seamlessly switching between bows, swords and shields. And while I always tend to take a more stealth approach when playing Assassin's Creed, it was nice to know that if needed, Bayek could throw down. Even after the main story was completed, I kept coming back. The Hidden Ones DLC provided more context to the founding of the Brotherhood, and beyond that, I still find myself jumping back into the game, exploring ancient Egypt as the legendary Bayek of Siwa. At number 2, we have Edward Kenway from Assassin's Creed Black Flag. This game is one of my personal favourites in the Assassin's Creed franchise, and while it's largely due to its setting, Edward Kenway was perhaps the perfect vessel to live out my dreams of roaming the open seas, living the ultimate pirate fantasy. This is largely due to the fact that Edward is an incredibly easy character to like, and his charismatic personality and rugged look sold a cool, calm leader that was every bit as capable of talking the talk as he was walking the walk. Beneath the bravado though, there was a story of loss and a desire for redemption. Edward's journey of personal growth made him one of the franchise's most memorable and important figures, as well as a solid fan favourite. The freedom to sail wherever I wanted, take on contracts, plunder ships, and search for buried treasure made me feel like I was crafting the legend of Edward Kenway, providing memorable moments along the way that further cemented my love for the character. When the inevitable remake or remaster drops, I'll be first in line to jump back in to relive the story of a roguish pirate turned deadly assassin. And at number 1 we have Ezio, arguably the most legendary assassin in the franchise. What makes Ezio the best protagonist across all of Assassin's Creed is the fact that we get to experience his journey across 3 games, which itself is a huge statement to how popular the character was both internally at Ubisoft and among Assassin's Creed fans. In Assassin's Creed 2, we meet him as a reckless young noble living his best life in Italy. Though, as the story progresses, Ezio's life is upended and he begins a quest for vengeance. Traversing the city from the ground to the rooftops, dual-wielding hidden blades, and mastering that classic Assassin's Creed combat encounter system, we've followed his story and watched as he grew into a fully fledged assassin. The game's direct sequel, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, is perhaps the most beloved game in the franchise among die-hard AC fans, and I'm willing to bet that the continuation of Ezio's story, watching him grow into a leader, and commanding an entire network of assassins had something to do with that. I myself have only recently played through all of the mainline Assassin's Creed games, and I was reluctant to play through the Ezio trilogy, as the perception of Revelations was that it was poorly received or was perhaps a drop in quality compared to Brotherhood. But I'm glad I gave the game a chance though, because it's this game that made me really sit back and appreciate Ezio as a character. We see a much older and wiser Ezio in Istanbul, Turkey. The contrast in his attitude and how he presents himself compared to when we first met him served to represent the toll his life had taken on him. Now older, battle-worn, but still every bit the master assassin, the weight of his years was felt in every encounter and cutscene. At the end of the day, controlling Ezio throughout his life made him more than just a character. He became a legend. His charm, skill, and unmatched determination made him one of the coolest protagonists to play as, and his story is easily the most iconic in the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Fight with me, and show him what it means to cross the assassins.
So there we have it, my favourite protagonists in the Assassin's Creed franchise. Did your favourite make the list? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more gaming content.